Welcome back, dearies. We are on episode 64, and today I'll talk about my attempts to get a boyfriend. As puberty made itself felt in my life, I started getting attracted to boys. However, the boys of my class, or most of the English medium boys, continued to look like little children. What's more, to this day, they look like puny boy men. The attractive boys were in the Marathi and Gujarati medium. So even though it did not consciously register, the puny kid looking boys held zero attraction for me. In 8th standard, I started discreetly looking at the attractive boys during breaks standing in the corridor. I'm not sure how people flirt now, but at the time, there was heavy flirting going on using just the eyes. So I would look at a guy, then look away, then look again to see if he was looking my way. And even if he wasn't, it was still nice to just feast my eyes on an attractive boy. I did not succeed in attracting anyone though. Ruby had a fan following, and one person who tried to attract her attention was a boy called Dinesh. He seemed the typical gali ka gunda type who would roam around with a bunch of boys outside the school compound in Haryali village. Haryali village was the area just outside our school. Dinesh kept trying to attract Ruby to no avail. I was very excited by the idea of Dinesh being interested in Ruby, and I thought he was good looking with his curls and his really footballer type body. He looked like the one of those famous footballers, Maradona. He gave a Maradona vibe. So Dinesh kept sending messages to Ruby through some students, and Ruby kept saying no. I would pester Ruby and ask why she wasn't saying yes to Dinesh, and she just kept saying there was no way she would be interested in him. Now I had zero fan following, but I got swept up in the idea of romance. So when Dinesh asked me to convince Ruby, I said I would. For reasons unknown to me, the next morning, when Dinesh gestured from across the school wall with a questioning expression, I misunderstood. He had been asking me if Ruby said yes. I thought Dinesh was interested in me now and he was asking me. I nodded yes. I was interested. Dinesh was overjoyed and sent a bunch of candy to thank me. It was then that I realized that he wasn't interested in me, but he had been inquiring about Ruby. It was an awkward moment when I told him, actually, she had said no. I don't know if or when Dinesh figured out that I'd been speaking about myself, not Ruby. God, awkward. Some of the seniors or batchmates started pairing off. I was enamored by the idea. Even I wanted a boy to be interested in me. We girls would gossip in hushed tones about these couples. There was a boy called Mohan Iyer who was notorious for his flings. I intuitively disliked him. Something that I noticed now was that when I was talking to attractive boys, I felt very awkward and shy. I could simply not be myself. I could not be relaxed. I was just this gaping, blubbering idiot around guys I found attractive. This was compounded by the fact that I knew that these boys wouldn't find me attractive by any stretch of the imagination. At such times, you could mop the floor with my self-confidence. It was so low. Not to mention my greatest worry that with my faulty hearing, I wouldn't understand what they said. I was in the habit of using cues from the conversation to fill in the blanks when I missed parts of the conversation. I'd been doing this since I was little, when Ruby would refuse to repeat what she had said even if I would beg her. So I became very, very self-conscious about not being able to hear everything properly when people spoke, so I wouldn't ask them to repeat themselves. This method that I used of filling in the blanks just based on cues of what the conversation might have been about, it was not always accurate, and hence I still had anxiety around it. The boy that I found the most attractive at school was the devilishly handsome Alex Thomas. He ticked all the boxes for a 10 on 10. His confidence was through the roof. I had never spoken to him, just admired him from afar. One day Netra, my best friend, announced that she was planning to join the school band as flautist. I'm not sure if she asked me to join or I got interested after hearing about it from her. But either way, Netra and I joined the school band together. Another person learning the flute with us was our classmate Supriya. By my idea of attractiveness, Supriya was nowhere near attractive. In fact, she was quite the opposite. And yet, to my chagrin, she had two people chasing after her, Zubin and Alex. This made me low-key upset and confused. I'd gossip about how Supriya was the farthest thing from attractive and genuinely couldn't understand how she had guys chasing after her. Poor Zubin, he did not stand a chance. He was not intelligent and Supriya was super intelligent. The only day Supriya sought him out was on Raksha Bandhan day to tie a rakhi to him and declare him as her brother. This is a common thing in India where girls tie rakhi to guys they want to friend zone and they want those guys to stop chasing them romantically. Poor Zubin got so excited when he heard that Supriya was looking for him. And then he went and saw the rakhi and he was so sad. He ran away and hid. I never understood why Supriya never got together with Alex. He was the epitome of desirability and he chased her relentlessly for quite some time. But Supriya never relented. And later she married some Uncle G looking paunchy bald guy. So then I wondered, why didn't she just marry Alex? Anyway, so the first day of flute training, I could not even hold the flute correctly. The teacher tried to demonstrate twice, then looked at Netra, who then walked over to me and physically used her hands to change the way I was holding the flute. This was not a good start. I was too dumb to even hold the flute correctly. This made me even more self-conscious than ever. Worse, Alex was the leader of our marching band and I was making a fool of myself in front of him. But after that rocky start, I started learning the tunes one after the other and soon could play tunes such as He's a Jolly Good Fellow, He's a Jolly Good Fellow and White Horse. Da na 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 na. So these are the kind of tunes we learned. After the first few sessions, our instructor put Alex in charge of our weekly practices. It was very intimidating and simultaneously joyful for me to be in the presence of the gorgeous Alex. But whenever he spoke to me, I shrank. But that didn't happen too much because Alex's focus was on Supriya. He concentrated on impressing her and she was unmoved by the attention. I wondered how she resisted his advances. I'd have melted in her place. Neither Netra nor I had any luck in the boyfriend department, which was a good thing in hindsight, considering how naive I was. Netra taught me her version of flirting, which involved winking at guys and catcalling guys. Funnily enough, she taught me to tease a pair of twins, ek kanaya, ek chaknaya, which basically means a one-eyed person and a cross-eyed person. I was indifferent to the boys and only joined in the teasing to cooperate with my friend. These boys were seniors and were tall and we were these little 5-foot girls. I'm sure the boys felt bullied but mostly ignored us. Now that I think of it, I'm guessing Netra had a crush on them. One day, the boys called out to me when I was walking to school. With no Netra around, I ignored them and kept walking. They called again and yet again. I got worried. Were they going to extract revenge for all the merciless teasing? I couldn't even understand why Netra was calling them Kanya and Chaknya. I just joined in blindly. Soon enough, the boys caught up with me and informed me that a bird had pooped on my head. So that is what the awful smell was. I had felt something on my head and shoulder, but I had just ignored it, focused on walking fast to reach school on time. It was winter and the campus was full of migratory birds that came to the creek. How could such a pretty white crane make such stinky caca? I did my best to wipe it off, but had to tolerate the stink all day until I reached home in the evening. After that awkward interaction, I did not tease those boys again. At one point, when I was trying to get fitter, I decided to try jogging. I was already very self-conscious. I timidly went to the hillside ground early one morning where Alex was already doing his exercises. I took a few steps to jog and Alex came up to me and said, "That is not the correct way to jog." I felt so humiliated and embarrassed, I just stopped. In hindsight, that statement was a cue for me to ask him the correct way to jog and then he would show me. and that would start a conversation that would allow us to get to know each other. Probably that was his intention when he approached me. I could have just waited there. Instead, I just left and went home. The next time I tried to jog on the ground, a Doberman belonging to a boy called Farzad came bounding and grabbed my leg. That was it. I did not jog on that ground again. I preferred on the spot jogging at home to this fiasco. Years later, at a school reunion, Alex walked up to me. I had stalked him on Facebook a little bit and seen that he was living abroad and had married what looked to me like an old white woman. She looked to be in her early 50s or late 40s according to the pictures. We were in our 30s at the time. And on Facebook, I saw that she had recently given birth. Alex, with his usual charming, confident swagger, came up to me and said, "I let this one get away." Dumbstruck to see the gorgeous Alex talking to me, I was tongue-tied yet again. I opened and closed my mouth like a goldfish before muttering something weird like, "Well, you didn't," and walked away feeling like an idiot. It was only later that I thought, wait, I had a chance with Alex? What? So that's it for today. Next time I'll tell you more about my romantic misadventures. Till then, stay healthy, stay happy. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.